the town of Willow Creek, nestled among the rolling hills of New England, a place where time seemed to slow, and every morning was heralded by the chirping of birds and the scent of wildflowers. The cobblestone path leading to the town center, now damp with lingering night rain, reflected the warm yellow lights from the old, quaint houses, creating a magical, fairy tale-like scene. Pink magnolia petals, heavy with dew, drifted gracefully onto the stone, forming a soft, breathtaking carpet. Inviting gentle strolls, the fresh, cool air carried the earthy scent of damp soil and the sweet fragrance of flowers, bringing a sense of unusual tranquility to both travelers and locals alike. At the end of that path, in a small house with a moss-covered tiled roof and lush potted plants hanging from the porch, Lena, a gifted embroidery artist with skillful hands and a delicate soul, was beginning a new day. She was a descendant of a family with a traditional embroidery craft. Passed down through generations, each stitch she made was not merely a display of exquisite technique, but a story, a soul entrusted to every shimmering thread. Lena's embroidered masterpieces, from endless fields of purple lavender to rivers shimmering like silver under the summer sun, possessed astonishing realism and vibrancy, making viewers feel as if they had stepped into the world she created. Her name, Lena, though only in a small town, had resonated far and wide, reaching big cities where art collectors and beauty enthusiasts sought her unique works. Lena's life revolved around three most important women, three threads that bound her existence. Her mother-in-law, Agnes, a kind and benevolent woman with silver hair and a perpetual smile, but now old and frail, requiring meticulous care. And her little daughter, Lily, a tiny angel with eyes as clear as morning dew, golden hair, and a radiant smile, yet afflicted with a cruel, congenital heart condition that constantly tightened Lena's heart whenever she saw her weak child. Every breath, every movement of Lily was a constant worry in Lena's mind, but also the greatest motivation for her to keep striving. Her husband, Mark, had left Willow Creek 3 years prior to establish his career in the big city of Boston. He was a brilliant art history professor, an intelligent, ambitious man with a refined appearance and captivating eloquence. Initially, the letters he sent were filled with promises of a bright future, of days when he would bring his mother and daughter to live with him in a more spacious house, where they would no longer have to worry about daily expenses. Lena had once trusted those promises implicitly, trusting the love they had built together. But then, the letters grew fewer, and the calls became more hurried and brief. Lena understood that city life was busy, but deep down, a vague worry still crept in, an unnamed sense of unease that clung to her. This morning, Lena woke up earlier than usual. Agnes's cough last night was worse, each heartbreaking, dry cough keeping Lena from sleeping. Lily also tossed and turned, occasionally gasping for breath, forcing Lena to hold and soothe her. She knew it was time to take Lily to a specialist hospital in Boston for a more thorough heart examination. The cost of daily life, her mother-in-law's medication, and especially Lily's illness, weighed heavily on Lena's slender shoulders. She worked tirelessly, from early dawn, when dew still clung to the leaves, until late into the night when the entire town was asleep. Her eyes were tired, dark circles prominent, but her hands moved deftly on the embroidery frame, as if tirelessly. Orders from craft shops in neighboring towns, and even private commissions, helped her, somewhat, but it was still not enough to cope with Lily's ever-increasing medical expenses. After preparing a hot breakfast for her mother-in-law and daughter, Lena sat by her embroidery frame, her fingers dancing gracefully on the soft silk. She was embroidering a landscape of Willow Creek in spring, with blooming magnolia trees, their pristine white blossoms sparkling like precious jewels under the morning sun. Each stitch seemed to carry her emotions, a deep love for her peaceful hometown, and an intense longing and endless worry for her husband far away. Each stitch was like a prayer, a fragile hope for a brighter future for her small family. Lena had tried to contact Mark multiple times to discuss Lily's worsening health and the money needed for the trip to Boston, but he always found ways to evade her. Every call, every message was missed or answered hastily, superficially. His excuses became increasingly incomprehensible and unconvincing. "I'm busy with an important project at the Institute. I can't leave. Work at the Institute is very stressful. I have to work overtime constantly. I'll send the money home soon. Don't worry too much." Lena, with her gentle, simple, and trusting nature, still tried to believe those explanations. She thought he must have his own difficulties. He must be trying his best for their family, for a better future for her and their daughter. But deep down, a seed of doubt had begun to sprout, gnawing at the peace in her soul. One afternoon, as Lena sat embroidering by the window, the golden sunlight of dusk stretched across the fields of white reeds by the river, shimmering like silver ribbons in the wind. A gentle breeze blew, carrying the scent of earth and wild grass, calming her slightly. But the worry about Lily still haunted her incessantly. Lily sat beside her, absorbed in watching her mother embroider, her big, round eyes sparkling with curiosity. The little girl occasionally asked innocent questions about the vibrant flowers, the birds soaring in the painting, or the fluffy clouds her mother was creating with threads. Looking at her daughter, seeing the frailty yet strong will in those tiny eyes, Lena's resolve hardened. She had to go to Boston, not only for Lily, but also to find out what Mark was truly doing and why he had become so distant. She couldn't continue living in this ambiguity and worry. The decision was made, a difficult but brave one. Lena gathered all her meager savings, the money she had painstakingly saved from countless embroidery orders. She sold a few pieces of commemorative jewelry Mark had given her in the early days of their love, items that now carried a bitter meaning. She also took on an urgent embroidery order, working tirelessly to afford the trip. She asked a kind neighbor, Mrs. Daisy, a benevolent elderly woman, to look after Agnes for a few days. Mrs. Maurice R. Daisy promised to take good care of Agnes, easing Lena's mind somewhat. After packing a simple suitcase, Lena and Lily took the earliest bus to Boston, carrying a mix of emotions, hope, worry, and even a little fear. The journey to Boston was longer than Lena expected, and harsher than she had imagined. The big city was noisy and bustling, a stark contrast to the peace and tranquility of Willow Creek. Skyscrapers, towering like giants, endless streams of traffic, and hurried people passing by like ghosts, made Lena feel lost and small amidst the crowd. She took Lily to the hospital, where doctors had scheduled a comprehensive examination for the little girl. After arranging for Lily to stay at the hospital for convenience of examination and monitoring, Lena began her search for Mark. With a heart heavy with questions and unease, she arrived at the Boston Institute of Art History, where Mark worked. The ancient, magnificent building, with pristine white marble columns and exquisitely carved statues, was majestic and solemn. Lena felt proud of her husband, a renowned professor in such a prestigious place, a talented and successful man. She inquired with a few staff members, who directed her to Mark's office, where he usually worked. Lena walked with a slight nervousness, eager to see her husband again, hoping for an explanation for their long estrangement. But when Lena arrived, an unexpected and heartbreaking scene met her eyes. The office door was ajar, and Mark was not alone. He was sitting with a beautiful young woman, with golden hair and a radiant smile, and a boy of about 5 or 6 years old, sitting on his lap, looking cheerful. They looked like a happy family, a perfect picture Lena had once dreamed of. Lena froze, her heart constricting, a cold sensation running down her spine. All hope, all trust within her vanished like soap bubbles. Lena walked into the office, her legs heavy as lead, her eyes fixed on Mark, unable to look away. He looked up, his eyes filled with confusion, panic, and a hint of guilt as he saw his wife standing stunned at the door. The woman beside him also looked at Lena with surprise and confusion. The air in the room became suffocatingly tense. "Mark," Lena whispered, her voice trembling, almost inaudible. The pain and shock rendered her speechless. Mark stood up, trying to remain calm, but his hands still trembled. "Lena, what are you doing here? Why are you here?" His voice stammered, revealing his awkwardness. "I came to find you, and to take Lily to the doctor. She needs money for treatment. You know that," Lena said, her voice catching, tears beginning to stream down her face. "I tried to contact you so many times, but you always avoided me. I had no other choice." The blonde woman stood up, her eyes questioning and full of suspicion as she looked at Mark. "Mark, who is this? Explain yourself." Mark bowed his head, speechless. It was then that Lena learned the harsh truth, a truth even more painful than anything she had ever imagined. This woman was Sarah, the wife of a former colleague of Mark's, who had died in an unrelated accident, a regular traffic accident. Mark had exploited the colleague's death to lie to the Institute and authorities that he died in the line of duty, thereby receiving a large compensation which he used to support Sarah and her son, living a luxurious and deceptive life. He had neglected his aging birth mother and his wife and child in their hometown, not even caring when Agnes fell gravely ill and needed money for treatment. Lena felt her entire world collapse beneath her feet. Pain, betrayal, and disappointment surged like a tsunami, engulfing everything. She couldn't believe that the man she had loved, trusted, the man she had sacrificed everything for, could do such terrible things. She turned and walked away, pulling the sobbing Lily with her, the child's cries tearing at her heart. When Lena left the Institute, she felt as if she was walking in a dream, an endless nightmare. The vast, noisy city of Boston now seemed more terrifying and cold than ever. She didn't know where to go or what to do. Money was running out, and Lily needed medical attention. She felt utterly desperate. Lily continued to cry, and Lena held her close, trying to suppress her own tears, trying to appear strong for her child. She just wanted to disappear, to return to peaceful Willow Creek, where these pains didn't exist. Lena and Lily wandered the streets of Boston, without a place to stay, without a single familiar face. Money was running out, and Lily needed urgent medical care. Her cough grew worse, and her small lips began to turn blue. Lena was desperate, feeling as if she was standing on the edge of an abyss. She sat down on a stone bench in the Boston Public Garden, where magnolia trees bloomed, their pink blossoms scattered across the paths, creating a romantic scene that sharply contrasted with the pain in her heart. The beautiful scenery, instead of comforting her, only amplified her sorrow, for it reminded her of broken dreams of happiness. Just then, a middle-aged, elegant man with neatly combed graying hair and kind blue eyes approached. He saw Lena and Lily sitting there, their faces filled with worry and despair, and he felt the profound suffering of the young woman. He stopped without hesitation and asked sincerely, "Hello, miss. You seem to be in trouble. Can I help you?" His voice was warm and calm, like a ray of sunshine dispersing the fog in Lena's soul. Lena looked up, her eyes red from crying too much. She hesitated for a moment, then told him her story about Mark's cruel betrayal, about Lily's severe illness, and about her utter despair when she had nowhere to go. The man listened patiently, without interrupting, his eyes filled with empathy and understanding. He understood the pain of a betrayed woman and the worry of a mother whose child was in danger. He introduced himself as Dr. Arthur Sterling, director of the Boston Institute for Medical Research, one of the nation's leading research institutes. He was also a widowed single father who had lost his wife in a tragic accident a few years prior. He had a son named Sam, the same age as Lily, an intelligent and lively boy. He understood Lena's pain, for he had experienced similar losses. He decided to help her, not only out of compassion, but also because he saw Lena's resilience and boundless love for her daughter. Dr. Sterling took Lena and Lily to his home. His house was located in a quiet, quaint neighborhood, with a charming small garden meticulously cared for, full of flowers and greenery. Sam, his son, was an intelligent and lively boy with a bright smile. He quickly befriended Lily, and the two children played happily in the garden, their clear laughter dispelling the heavy atmosphere in Lena's heart. Dr. Sterling helped Lena take Lily to the best hospital in Boston, where she received thorough examination and treatment from top doctors. He also helped Lena find a part-time job at the Institute's library, where she could continue her embroidery work in her free hours and earn extra income to support herself. He also introduced her to several high-end art galleries in Boston, where her embroidery works were highly valued and sold for good prices. With Dr. Sterling's devoted help, Lena gradually regained her calm and confidence. She realized that life still held good things, and she was not alone. Dr. Sterling was a thoughtful, kind, compassionate, and very trustworthy man. He always cared for Lena and Lily, always willing to listen and help them overcome any difficulties. Their feelings for each other slowly blossomed, not loudly or hastily, but gradually, sincerely, like seeds planted in the earth, waiting for the day to bloom and bear fruit. Although she had found a temporary peaceful haven, Lena did not want to live in deceit and injustice. The pain and betrayal still simmered within her, and she knew she had to expose the truth about Mark and Sarah. She wanted to reclaim justice for herself, for Lily, for Agnes back home, and especially for Mark's deceased colleague, who had been shamelessly exploited. Lena did not want Mark to continue living a lie and profiting from his wrongful acts. Lena told Dr. Sterling everything she knew about Mark and Sarah, from his initial lies to the evidence she had accidentally collected. Dr. Sterling, with his experience and reputation in academic and medical circles, helped Lena gather more evidence systematically and professionally. Together, they sought out the family of Mark's deceased colleague, a small family struggling financially after the loss of their breadwinner. From their conversations, Lena and Dr. Sterling found important evidence, messages, calls and documents, showing that his death was completely unrelated to work, but was just a regular traffic accident. The colleague's family was also shocked and heartbroken to learn the truth, and they decided to stand with Lena to demand justice. With Dr. Sterling's help, Lena filed a complaint against Mark with the leadership of the Boston Institute of Art History, where Mark worked, and the relevant authorities. The investigation was conducted seriously and transparently. Evidence was presented, testimonies were collected, and the truth gradually became clear. Mark was immediately suspended from his position, and the large compensation he had received illicitly was fully recouped. Sarah, who had conspired with Mark and benefited from the deception, also faced legal responsibility and consequences. The incident caused a stir in academic circles and the media. Mark, once a renowned professor, lost all his reputation, career, and credibility. He faced serious legal consequences, including prosecution for fraud. Lena felt relieved when the truth was revealed, when justice was served, but deep down, she also felt sad for Mark. After all, he had once been her husband and her child's father, and witnessing the downfall of someone once close is never easy. After the incident, Lena and Lily decided to stay in Boston. Lily needed continued treatment and regular medical monitoring, and Boston had the best conditions for her. Lena also wanted to build a new life for herself and her daughter here, a life no longer overshadowed by deceit and betrayal. Dr. Sterling was always by Lena's side, encouraging and supporting her in every circumstance. He was not only her legal helper, but also a strong emotional pillar. Their feelings for each other slowly blossomed, from initial gratitude and admiration, transforming into a deep and sincere love. Time passed, and Lena's emotional wounds gradually healed. Under Dr. Sterling's devoted care and Lily and Sam's unconditional love, Lena found peace and happiness in her new life in Boston. Lily grew healthier. Her coughs became less frequent, and she could play and run around like other normal children. Lily loved Dr. Sterling and Sam very much, considering them true members of her family. The clear laughter of the two children often echoed throughout the house, bringing joy and warmth to everyone. Dr. Sterling and Lena realized they had much in common, not just past losses, but also shared values and dreams for a bright future. Both had experienced great losses, but they were both strong, resilient, and always maintained faith in life. They shared their dreams, hopes, and even their secret fears. Their love blossomed naturally, sincerely, and deeply, quietly, but enduringly. They found a spiritual connection, understanding, and sharing that they had never had before. One spring afternoon, as the magnolia trees in Dr. Sterling's garden bloomed again, their pristine white blossoms sparkling like illuminated candles under the golden sunlight, filling the entire garden with a romantic and poetic scene. The gentle fragrance of magnolias permeated the air. Under the ancient magnolia tree, Dr. Sterling proposed to Lena. He knelt, offered her a sparkling engagement ring, and spoke heartfelt words. Lena accepted with tears of joy and gratitude. They held a small, intimate wedding in Willow Creek, where there were cobblestone paths and old houses, where Lena's love had once begun, and where she found peace. Lena's friends and family from Willow Creek, along with Dr. Sterling's colleagues and close friends from Boston, came to celebrate. Sam and Lily, in adorable outfits, were the flower bearers, radiant and happy. It was a day filled with laughter, happiness, and heartfelt blessings from everyone. Lena and Dr. Sterling built a happy and fulfilling family together. Lena continued to develop her embroidery career. Her works became increasingly known and loved, not only in Boston, but across the country. She opened a small embroidery studio in Boston, where she not only created unique works of art, but also taught her traditional embroidery craft to disadvantaged women, helping them find passion and independence in life. Dr. Sterling continued his medical research. He was a talented and dedicated scientist, and he achieved many significant accomplishments in his field, contributing to the advancement of medicine. He always made time for his family, caring for and raising their 2 children with Lena. They frequently visited Willow Creek, where Agnes still lived peacefully in her small house. She was very happy to see Lena and Lily happy, and she loved Dr. Sterling and Sam very much, treating them as her own children and grandchildren. Their trips back home always brought them peaceful and warm moments, beautiful memories. They walked together on the village paths, admiring the fields of white reeds under the evening sun, shimmering like golden ribbons. Lena and Dr. Sterling's life is a testament that despite difficulties, challenges, losses, and pain, true love, resilience, and kindness will always lead to happiness. Their story is a ballad of healing, of the simple beauty of rural life, and of warm family moments, where every morning is a new beginning, full of hope and love